And I remember them coming in and saying, all those that live in such and such a street have got to be evacuated. And I can remember running down Farm Barnet Lane crying. I thought, oh, I'll never know where they are.
So this is Brian's apple tree. How old are you now, Brian? How old are you now?
Well, I'll be 93 next year. Oh, look at that. No,
Pretty good one.
nice one.
Look at these.
Yeah.
Look at the size of that one. Have you got any other fruit trees?
No, only
No,
that
just
one.
the apple one. That's a good one though, isn't it?
Hello, I'm Brian. I was born 17th of May 1930. I can remember living in 27 Hemington Avenue. Most of my early life I was a baby there, and I left from there to go into the army, but I remember my father coming and telling me we were staying with an aunt, Auntie Neff, and my father came and said to me when I was in bed, you're going to have I'm not going to, but your mother's going to have a baby, but we don't know what it is yet. Anyway, he was born and christened, named Paul Draper. He's my brother. He's 14 years younger than me. Not that you notice it. And I can remember we was very young. We used to go on holiday to a seaside called Worthing, and we used to stay there for a week in a guest house that belonged to a Mrs. Wade. I remember my childhood with the war was on. I was 9 when war broke out. The first time the siren went, I can remember my father nailing a carpet over the door and also stuffing stuff up the chimney. They thought we were going to be gassed straight away, but I remember saying, I don't want my father to die. He was going out on duty. It's that day, the day the siren went for the first time. When he was just started as a warden, and he went through the ranks and ended up as chief warden. And their headquarters was in a building called Strathroy, which was in Farm Barnet Lane. He was there all during the war and after it finished. And one man living in, where was he living? He was in his bath when the bomb came down and blew him out into the garden, still in the bath.
The bomb came down and it blew the man out in his bath.
That was in Ashford Road.
Yeah.
But did he live?
Yes, I think so.
If we weren't in school, we were in a bomb site. We were in one in Friary Park, and I was in charge of the sweets, I remember, and we also had to go into the shelters when I was at Holly Park School. It was there that I lost my hair for the first time. I had alopecia and I had to go into the garden and be in the sunshine. I used to have to do that every day. I was nervous, but I wasn't showing that I was nervous. That's why it started to come out. And then when it came back all lovely and curly. At the end of the war, everybody taking their blackout curtains down, and we had a bonfire at the end of the road, and everybody came and burnt their blackout curtains and things. But because we were on ration then, I've still got my ration book. I've kept it all these years. We were allowed 2 eggs and 2 ounces of butter. We used to go to the community centre, and I can remember eating whale meat. We used to go there most days for our lunch. I can remember when the sirens always used to go, and we used to, I used to stand at the back door and watch the doodlebugs flying in, and then as soon as the engines cut out, we had to run for the shelter. We had a tabletop, a metal tabletop shelter, which we kept Paul in a carry-cot under that, and then when we could hear the planes coming, we had to get in underneath in this shelter. And my grandmother slept in the same room in a bare bedsit. Our next door neighbour used to come in to our house to sleep, the Rolfe family, and we had a single bed and this shelter, and I slept with a girl called Margaret Rolfe, our next door neighbour, and then I said she keeps fidgeting, so they took her out, so she had her own bed in the room. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening to my story and life, as long as it is at the moment.